Hello, my name is Michael, and I'll be running all my test cases all Postman, and we will have all the expect outputs here on the right, and I'll be running here on Postman on the left. So let's start. First, we will go into authors class, and now we will do a get all authors. As you can see, it returns a list of all authors. Now you get a valid author with his by his specific ID. As you can see, returns only one author with the provided ID. Now we will try with an invalid ID that does not exist. And this is the output. The exception throws author with ID, the ID provided not found. Now we will get only the book from a specific author, the book that he wrote. Here, it gives you here. Now we will try to get a book from an invalid author. And the exception is here as expected. Now we will try to update a valid author, and the author gets updated because his ID is valid. Now we will try to update an invalid author and gives us an exception which says author with the ID provided was not found. So now we will also delete a valid author, and this says successfully deleted and the author was deleted. Now we will try to delete an invalid author, and it says author with ID 3 was not found. And now we also will post an author, and as you can see the author was posted and with a new ID as expected. Now we move on to books testing. So let me just rerun the code so I can reset all the values so I don't get confused with the old authors, the deleted authors. I will be doing this for all the classes. So now we will do a get all books, and as expected it returns all the available books in the store with the contents, the other stuff, all the details. Now we will get a specific book by the book ID, which I called ISBN, and as you can see here only returns the proper book provided. Now try to get an invalid book that's not in the store, that the ISBN does not exist, and the exception is thrown says book with ID provided does not exist. Now we will post a book with a valid author, and here's the output. The book was successfully posted. Now we will try to post a book with an invalid author, and this is the exception. The author with the ID was not found. And now we will post a book with a valid author but the date in the future, 2026, and it says the book cannot be in the future. Okay, moving on to put request. Now we will update the book with ISBN 1 with these details, and as you can see the book was updated to the provided details. And now we'll try to update a book that does not exist. The book was not found. Now we will book invalid author. Yeah, try to update a book, but we will put the ID of an author that does not exist. Author ID does not exist. The exceptions thrown. Now we also again try to update a book, but we'll try to say that the date's in the future, and again it will throw the book cannot be in the future exception. Now we're gonna delete a book with a valid ID, as you can see here. Successfully deleted. Expected output. Now try to delete a book that does not exist, and here book with ID was not found. Okay, let's move on to carts. Refresh again. Okay, move on to carts. So let's do a get cart for this specific customer. Now we're going to get this customer cart, and here it provides an empty cart because they haven't added anything to the cart yet. Let's try to get a cart for a invalid customer that does not exist. Exception thrown. Cart for customer with ID 3 wasn't found. Now we will post a valid book to a valid customer. Here, this book was posted to the cart. Now we will try to add more items than there are available in the stock to the cart. And this is the exception, there are not enough books. Now we will try to add a book to an invalid customer. This is the exception, cart for customer with the provided ID was not found. Now we will try to provide a book that does not exist with ISBN 3 that was not added to the store, and book not found in the store. the exception happened. Now we will try to update a valid book in the cart, so change the quantity, the book, or how many you want. And here I updated, and this was the updated version of the book, so it updates the book in the cart. Now we will try to update an invalid book in a cart. So this is the output. Book for SBN 3 was not found because this book 3 is not in the cart, so it was not found to update. Now we will put a valid book here in the cart. A valid book, here is the path, the book that is in the cart, the SBN of the book that is in the cart, and we will try to say a huge stock quantity. And if you send a request, not enough books in stock for the provided book. Now we will try to update a valid book in the cart with an invalid book from the store. So this is a valid book in the cart, and we will try to update with this book from the store. And it says the exceptional book for SMF not found in the store. Now we try to provide a existing book in the invalid cart. So the cart is invalid for the customer, and we try to put an existing book here. As you can see, the exception cart for customer with ID 3 not found, because the cart doesn't exist for this customer. So we will now delete a valid book from the cart of a valid customer. And if you delete, successfully deleted, the book was deleted from the cart. Now we will try to delete a book from a cart with an invalid path. So this is the book, correct book in the cart, but we say here, we state that the book ID is 3. And then the book in the cart with path ID 3 was not found. Now we will delete a valid book from an invalid cart. So a cart from customer 3 that doesn't exist, and if you try to delete a valid book with the same ISBN and says the cart was not found. Now we will try to send a wrong path ID of the book, and no, the correct path ID of the book, sorry, and a inexistent book from the store that's not in the cart, and then it says the book in cart with path ID 1 not found. Okay, let's go to customer now. Okay, so moving on to customer. Test case for customers now. So let's get all customers. The first get, you return a list of all the customers. Now you get only, yeah, it was successful. Now we get only one specific customer, a valid ID. Provides only, it returns only the customer that we got. Now we will try to get an inexistent customer with ID 3 that doesn't exist in the database. Customer with ID 3 was not found. Now we will post a new customer, add a new customer to our bookstore. Here, the new customer was added and their information. Now we will try to update the detail of a existing customer. As you can see, the detail were updated here to the customer. Now we will try to update an invalid customer. And here's the exception. Customer with ID 4 was not found. Now we will delete a valid customer. As you can see, was successfully deleted. And now we will try to delete an invalid customer again, and says customer with ID 4 was not found. The exception is thrown. Now we'll go to the orders class and refresh the code. So first we try to get the orders for a valid customer, an existing one. However, since they haven't placed the order yet, this is gonna return customer with there are no order for these customers. Now, because they have an empty order. Now we will get multiple orders, but before this I need to add books to the cart. I'm gonna add some books to the cart. So cart, I'm going to post a book to the customer 1. I'm gonna put this book's now in their cart. So I will do the post now. So this is the post. So I will place an order. The order is placed from the cart. So if I place an order here and there are items in the cart, the order was placed. This is the order number. Let's just skip it. And the order was placed. It's completed. And now we will try to place an order for an existing customer. If we place the order, the cart for the customer was not found because it's an invalid customer. Now we will try to place an order for the same customer that we placed before. However, when they don't have anything in their cart, because we already placed the order, so the cart now is empty. So if we try to place the order, cannot place the order, the cart is empty, exceptions thrown. Now we can do this get request, which will get all the orders of the customer. And if we get now, they have an order here. So now we will try to get orders for an invalid customer again. Invalid customer, get orders. There are no orders for the customer with ID 3, either because they haven't placed order yet or because they don't exist. And now if we put the same, the order that was placed before here, with only the specific order ID, it returns only the order. Yeah, and now we will try to get an invalid order that was never placed, and if you try to get it, order with ID not found for the customer. I'm also going to show multiple orders, because if I go here to the cart and I say that this customer is going to buy the same book again, now they have the same book in their cart, and I'm going to place the order. I'm going to place the order again. I placed again, and now I'll get multiple orders here. Yeah, now this will return all the orders of the customers. You can see here, new order ID, all the details of the new order, and the new order placed. So this is all. Thank you very much for watching. This is my test case. All the inputs, the bodies that are here, and the expect output match the one in the test case, so they are all a pass. Thank you very much for watching again. Have a good rest of the day.